Get yourself a sofa, mate.
Why don't you get yourself a normal, like a
Yeah.
decent chair?
Oh, should I go and get a chair? I haven't got a chair to sit on though.
What, not one chair in your house?
But
That is the only chair.
You want a laptop?
iPad.
Why don't you move your iPad?
But where could I move it to? Where? The floor.
Sofa?
I don't know if that'll work. I could try. Hang on.
You don't know.
I've got my iPad on a box on top of the table in my front room.
So
Otherwise, I'm like way down here and I'm like that.
No, I'm not having that.
No.
I'm not having that on the
A normal
podcast.
training position.
Oh my
I'm not
god.
having that. Look at it.
No.
That's
You look like
way
a sexual deviant.
It's not. I'm not quite sure how you work this. Newfangled technology, newfangled devices.
You're doing better than us with that background, mate.
Oh, right. I'm uncomfortable.
Sure.
Yeah, ready. Ready.
Ready? Welcome everybody to part 3 of our isolation podcasts. Here again with my man as always, Nick Daines. Got
Good day.
Laurie Dodson with us once again. And we've got white belt number 430189237.
Hola.
Mark Wright. How's it going, Mark?
How you doing there? White belting it up.
Mark's going to have some insights for us today. We're going to watch another fight and Mark's going to commentate and tell us what's going on.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm on this. If you need any instruction, by the way, over the next couple of weeks or whatever, let me know.
Bernardo Farrier has been in touch, mate, hasn't he, about an instructional from you?
He did ask for it, but the money's not there, so I'm not doing it.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. How's everyone? How are you, Loz?
Yeah, I'm all good. Thank you, mate. Since yesterday. It's,
One day.
yeah, a day at a time, as they say.
Take it a day at a time. It was good yesterday. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's good. See your brother as well.
Yeah, it's good. What have you been up to, Nick, apart from doing quizzes? Looking forward to
I've been on a long walk today, so that was quite nice to get out. So I did like an hour's walking. So that's the only exercise today. Still trying to do me little 15-minute Pilates for my back, which is going quite well.
Is your back feeling better now?
Yeah, mate, it's feeling all right. You know, I'm just trying to do a lot of the core stuff, and that's really helping for sure. Stretching and core, like as if everyone hasn't been telling me that for ages, but actually,
All the worst stuff.
yeah, all the least fun stuff.
Yeah.
And at least it gets me away from my family for 15 minutes, you know.
I'll say that.
You can.
Yeah.
It has. It's recorded now as well.
It's done it.
No one's going to watch this anyway.
That's true. Stuart might.
SGY.
He
Well-
might watch the first 5 minutes. That'll be about
He won't be able to see because his hair's probably covering his eyes by now.
it.
We should check in with him. Hopefully he'll be coming onto the open mat chat tomorrow so we can make sure he's all right. I do worry about some of these people.
Yeah, that's been really fun, by the way. So we've been doing an open mat chat. We did our first one last Saturday, just getting all the group from Carlson, Gracie, Ashford together to have a bit of a chat. It's been really good. Mark, you weren't there, mate. Where?
No. I think we're going to be in it on this Saturday, though, if it's still knocking about. I don't even drink coffee, so...
Well,
You don't have
drink
to.
coffee.
Them the rules.
I have to sit there drinking coffee.
You could drink beer, though, mate.
Beer,
Can't you?
Mark,
There you
yeah.
go. Get a beer in.
Have a morning beer.
That's it.
Well,
What time is it? 11?
Let everyone know we're recording this at 8:30 in the morning, and Mark's on his third.
Yeah. I ain't even got to bed yet.
We need also from Mark an update on one of the valued members, the Savage Salmon.
Yeah.
We don't hear enough about this guy, but I certainly haven't seen him for a while. So how is he getting on? Are you still in contact?
I spoke to him today.
Oh.
He sent me a video of people clapping on some bridge in London for the NHS. And that was it. That was it. He never talks to me about jiu-jitsu. Never mentions when he's coming back, what the fuck's going on. He's taken up skateboarding again, though, so I think he's going back to that.
That's not a good sign, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how good his shoulder is, though, because I'm assuming he is good at skateboarding, but I'm assuming he's falling over and hurting himself. So he's capable. Yeah, he could do it. I think it's going to take him coming around here for a fight night one time. We watch the UFC. He'll get drunk and want to roll.
Yeah. I
will somehow manage to overpower him, and then he'll feel insecure and he'll want to come back.
Well, Stuart, SGY said the other day that he's ordered some kind of projector.
He's got it. He's got it, mate.
Yeah.
He messaged me. Did he message you, Loz?
He did. He did mention that. Yeah.
So he wants to put on a fight night at the club. What a brilliant idea.
I think once we get back on board, I think we should definitely have like a party to celebrate.
Definitely.
100%.
If I've got
you get fight pass and
at that point, we haven't gone under. Hopefully, I'll try and take everyone out for a meal or something.
Yeah, man.
We can have a day of it.
We should definitely
UFC, and a nice meal and get
wicked
at the same time.
That'd be
I said, funny enough, a few people that I used to see like years ago of because I put for work put things on Facebook saying, look, like we've not got any work, we can't really do anything, so if anyone can like our page and share our page and stuff, like it's really useful and stuff. And some people have messaged me saying, oh, look, how are you? Lots have said that we should reconnect like at some point. So people are, those people you just don't have time, or you think are too busy and life gets in the way. And now it's like people that I used to see all the time and hang out with a lot are like, oh, it'd be nice to see you again maybe, and you're like, oh yeah, actually it would. So there's a lot of good coming out of this stuff for the annoying and like hard time that it is. There, some good will come out, I think. But it'd be wicked to have a good like party and get everyone together again. But I thought a projector on the white walls at the gym and stuff would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It would be so good. It's massive as well. He sent me a photo. Stuart sent me a photo.
Really?
Absolutely huge.
Or bring a bean bag, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Stuart will probably charge us to entry.
That's what that's why he wants to do it.
Yeah.
That's why he wants to do it. He'll go around with like a pot, won't he? And be like, donations.
Just a contribution.
Basket on a stick.
Basket on a stick.
In between rounds. Just.
It would be good though, wouldn't it?
It would be awesome.
Especially if you got like a little area where you could,
They had a similar thing at the uni, didn't they? They like rented out one of the little cinema rooms, and it had and stuff. It looked fucking awesome.
Yeah, it'd be well good. We just need a cinema room, so you just need the next purchase, mate. Cinema chairs for the club.
Right. Okay.
Just press a button and they all come out from
number
the ground.
one important.
Write that on the list, Laurie, of things.
Jot that down, mate. The next purchase. Yeah, great idea, mate.
What have we got then, Sam?
What we got? Well, I've queued up Leandro Lo. Oh, look, we got a special guest.
Special guest from Gracie. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
She just started as well, so.
Blame the dog.
Yeah.
I got Adam Wadzinski. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about having a Wadzinski fight up there because we talked about going to his seminar and how good it was.
Mm.
So I queued up Adam Wadzinski versus Leandro Lo on the Pan Championships 2019 because he beats him.
The quality
looks good.
Looks good. Let's see
quality's okay for you lot?
Yeah.
You can watch it.
See what happens when it plays.
Yeah.
It's usually better when it plays, right?
Yeah.
All right. We'll find out anyway. So, Mark, what's happening here? What's going on?
Who's the guy in the middle, Mark?
That guy is old Baldy Johnson. Everyone knows Baldy
Baldy Dodson.
Yeah, everyone knows him. Back in the day.
Scandalous.
You were around Salford area in the 70s. You couldn't miss him.
Good old Baldy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the guy on the left?
That is Bluegi. Old Bluegi. Bit of beard going on.
Captain Bluegi to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the guy on the right?
Old Fluffball. That's what they call him down south.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Okay, let's go. Let's have some commentary, Mark. Let's see what's going on.
Oh, that is dreadful quality.
Is it bad quality or not? Is it bad quality?
It's about as good as it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's quite jittery. Nice gi.
Nice gi.
What's going on, Bill? Look. Say hi to everyone.
What's happening here, Mark? What's going on?
Well, I don't know why you don't just stand up. You know what I mean? If someone took me down like that, I'd just stand up. Just push him away like that.
Yeah.
Just always have your arms fully extended.
That's classic. Yeah, good.
Look at that, Bill. Look.
Perfect. Nice.
So look, he's going for like legs through the middle all the time.
Yeah, that's
like
it.
We always talk about
getting himself underneath him.
Yeah.
Leandro Lo's doing a well good job of defending though. Trying to free that.
Leandro Lo's passing is so explosive.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that grip stopping him from what? Backstepping? Wadzinski's got.
Because the first thing he'd do is he'd be pushing that right hand down off, getting that hook off his hip.
Yeah.
And then because obviously he's got that grip on his far leg, he can't do any back steps at the moment.
Yeah.
So even if he does free this this leg with his hand on it,
there you go. He's freed it now.
He's not going anywhere just at the minute.
Yeah, because he's stopping him from coming forward with that grip on his plants. That's nice.
Yeah.
His hand's been on the mat for how long?
Yeah.
Like that's the idea, right? Get his weight over there, keep his hand on the mat.
Yeah. And then he won't go back on his butt.
And he's probably pushing quite a lot with the leg through the middle each time. So he's almost swept him.
He's so good, that position.
Yeah. Coming underneath. He's definitely looking. He's not looking to submit there, is he? He's definitely looking for a sweep.
Yeah, 2 through the middle. What would you be doing at the moment, Mark?
You need to go. Like I say, I'll just be standing up, mate. If I'm old Bluegi, I'm walking away.
Yeah.
If I'm Baldy Dodson, penalties. Can't be laying there doing all that gay shit.
Penalties.
That's a point. Can't do that. That's a point.
Nice.
This is way too jittery for me to keep up with what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, big time, man.
So basically, Wadzinski's doing a good job of trying to get underneath Leandro Lo's hips. And Leandro Lo's doing a good job of not getting swept, basically. He's trying to look for the pass and clear the legs.
Yeah, so like
Leandro Lo's passing, man. That is outrageously good. Just so much pressure.
Because he's quite a big guy as well. Like they're both big, aren't they? They're both like 95 kilos or something.
Yeah. Did Leandro Lo start at like 70 odd kilos?
Yeah, pretty light, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then he just got bigger and bigger.
He got hench.
Yeah, like juiced right up.
Yeah.
Good point.
That was nice. He escaped the back straight into butterfly.
Yeah.
Half guard. He wins. In my opinion, he should have won right there.
Yeah. Half guard. Rates to half guard.
So look, now he's getting that grip across his back. He's looking to constantly break his posture.
Oh, lovely. That's so nice.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go back a little bit there.
Yeah, I kind of missed that bit.
I'm going to go back.
Like Adam said in that seminar, like the jiu-jitsu that he does is simple. Like he stood there, didn't he? He's like, it's nothing super complicated or super flashy. It's simple stuff that I do. but it's super effective because he does it so well.
Yeah, that's kind of the tell for a lot of the guys at the highest levels, though, isn't it?
See, look, he could have got caught in the head and arm there.
He brought his knees into his body.
Look at the way he sets up this half guard, though, because his foot's really low and he's got his shin almost like shin to shin at one point. Yeah. The grip's really nice, and then he goes shin to shin with his leg in a minute. Here.
Yeah, he's pushing on it with his foot.
And that elevates, and then he kind of so he elevates him, then he sets up the butterfly to sweep him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's elevating really low down on his shin.
Yeah.
That was so nice.
Yeah. Just pulling that arm to get that knee through.
Yeah, this isn't ideal for Leandro. This isn't where he wants to be.
No, it's not. Especially with that arm across him here. Mark, what would you do? You've been in this position.
I was just going to say, very familiar position for me. I can see this screen move but like every 3 seconds. So it's hard enough for me to keep up as it is. But if I'm there, I'm going to be flailing my legs. If I'm rolling with Nick, I'm immediately looking to find the first position I can knee him in the face from.
Classic white belt move.
It's not going to happen if he's on top of me.
Just go for the headbutt.
Yeah, why not? Bite, anything.
The gouge.
Bite.
Sharpen.
Go for bites here, Mark.
I haven't bit anyone yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Never say never.
I've been trying to make you at least try and bite me for a while now. Get so frustrated that you lash out.
Trying to provoke it. That is literally training snakes to bite you, isn't it?
It is. Classic collar choke there. Very nice. Good finish.
I think Adam is a lot better when he had that shorter hair. Now, I'm not sure about his new mane that he's got.
Yeah, it looks like a lion, doesn't it?
The old floppy locks.
Well, it's a lot better than when he had just that tash. He looked like a 70s porn star at one point.
I don't think enough people have just a tash.
I think far too few people have just that tash, to be honest.
You've got to bring that back.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, basic and simple.
Super simple.
Well.
Yeah, I think that is about as smooth as you're going to get when you're fighting someone like Leandro Lo, isn't it?
I think this game, like Wadzinski's game, is actually pretty bad for Leandro to go against.
You think?
Yeah, with how he likes to pass. And Wadzinski's single leg and butterfly and stuff is tight and bringing the weight on top of him a lot, and that makes it really difficult for Leandro's backstepping game and passes that he likes.
Yeah, that he likes quite a mobile. He likes.
It reminds me when Kane's relentless team.
Yeah.
And once you get super tight, that's all I can do. I've got to get tight, otherwise.
I think that is the key when someone plays that kind of wide passing game. Anyway, you've got to close the distance. Otherwise, it becomes a nightmare. You end up chasing them around too much.
Yeah, got to slow them down. These quick, explosive people.
Yeah, Mark.
I'm not even explosive.
Jumping all over my knees. Absolutely fast.
Yeah, the old knee.
Fuck your knees. How about
that? You're lucky, mate.
You got me into jiu-jitsu. It's your own fault. Just got you about fucking 6 years too late.
That's why I waited. I waited, mate, until you were past your prime.
It's like your movements at work. Thought, yeah, he'd be good, but I'm just going to leave it a while until I just need to get just that bit better.
I'll let him spend a few more years down the pub, and then I'll invite him down.
Yeah, introduce him to ketamine or something.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, I'll get into that, mate. That's well good.
You could do with some of that now, mate.
You've gone through a few injuries though, Mark, since you started jiu-jitsu. And every bit of you's been hurting it from your ears.
Mate, I'm the most battered white belt there's ever been. My collie ear's doing all right though. It's gone
down all right, didn't it?
Yeah, big time, man. I didn't even fucking drain it or anything.
That looks completely different.
It looks a bit fucking mangled compared to this boy, but it's all right.
No, doesn't it? Looks exactly the same from where I'm
Before,
standing.
it was like a golf ball, though. It was insane.
Look at Loz's. Look at Loz's ears.
Yeah, that's all right. That's not
moving
like
anymore.
puffy and, you know, mine looked like a pasty or something. It was insane.
Not like Pod, though.
Yeah, that's it. They slowly start to come out, don't they?
But if you've got two...
State of that.
This one doesn't
Fucking hell.
Look at this.
That it wasn't even your ear, Sam, was it? They just stuck an ear they found on the floor back on.
They put something back on the side of my head.
Bit of luncheon meat.
It's not anymore.
The Billy Bear ham.
Anymore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Picks up vibrations pretty well though.
Does it? And what, they just slide straight off that? It's like perfectly smooth, isn't it?
What's your latest then, Mark? Didn't you have a bad elbow, bicep?
Oh, mate, it feels
leper.
like I've got tendonitis in every joint you can imagine. Fucking, yeah, my back was playing up. I feel brilliant at the moment. I feel fucking all right, but then I'm not getting smashed, am I? So.
Well, you're just sat on the sofa in your dressing gown, not doing anything.
Exactly. How can you not?
Well.
But I do feel a lot better. Like, I feel my shoulders are definitely a lot looser than they were before.
Good.
I've been doing a lot of exercises for those. So,
You've been doing some
I haven't
yoga,
been keeping
mate,
up
as
with
well,
exercises. You are?
You've been doing some yoga as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Doing it is one thing. Doing it proficiently is another thing.
It's like me, mate. I've been studying it for years.
Becky's bang on it, but yeah, I'm
Just
struggling.
brand post on it.
Well, mate, you've got a busy day, mate, haven't you? You've
Who's
got
that,
so
mate?
much going on at the moment. You don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I've nearly finished that. I've got to go get another one in a minute. Fucking hard work, boy. I'm just taking advantage of the situation.
Good. We So you joined jiu-jitsu way past your prime. How have you found it? Like Nick.
Way past me prime. How old do you reckon I am?
That's good. We'll play the guessing
game.
Yeah, right.
You're at least 38.
At the very least.
I know that you look about 8 years older than when you did first join.
You're not even lying, man. I joined in 2018. I feel like I've aged about 7 years already.
Welcome to our world,
But
mate.
yeah, I'm 30 now, so it all goes downhill, doesn't it?
No.
Well, I don't think I can go any more downhill.
Never
You've had
say
This is
that.
it. I've already
injury.
used all my bullshit stuff up. I've used all my injuries up. All right, I've had them. And now from here on, it's just plain sailing, man. I'm going to be a purple belt in about 3 months. And then that's it. I can skip warm-ups.
Oh, that's 17 years
brilliant.
quicker than Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
It's a long road, Sam.
It is a long road, mate. It is a long road.
It's good. It's good though, because like you went through this enormous uplifting progression where you it was noticeable that you were like getting better every week.
Yeah.
The more you train, literally, you're like, "Wow, Mark's getting really good." You know,
I was enthusiastic as fuck, and then you get an injury, and you go, "Oh, this is a bit much, isn't it? Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, I'll just stick to this and that." Or you go way too far the other way, and you start watching fucking reverse Della Worm bullshit on fucking YouTube at
I
night.
can tell you've been watching a lot of that.
Or because I'll come in flailing about.
No, because you just don't know any of the basics.
Well, that's it, isn't it? You spend too much time worrying about stuff that you're never going to be able to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just worrying about, you know.
I think everyone's been there, mate.
Yeah, I think it's like that. But
Yeah, it's a funny one. I'm glad I started in my early 20s because I think I was probably exactly the same as you, but my injuries were not quite as bad.
I think unless you start as a kid,
24.
everybody's going to think you want to start earlier.
How old are you now, Sam?
So I'm 35 in July, mate.
That's a lie.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's a lie.
I know. I look young. I can't help it. I look so young, but you know, it's just the way the cookie crumbles. Good genes. I mean, look at my brother. He's, you know, you wouldn't imagine he's older than me, would you?
You wouldn't imagine he was your brother. Unless I see birth certificates, I'm still a little sceptical.
We've been through this, mate. I've already questioned my mum.
Oh, mate.
on the podcast, Sam, so we can have a proper, discussion about it.
Definitely.
We need to work out dates and times. Check our story checks out.
Yeah, where was your mum on a certain day?
Time, yeah, I think you're right.
A podcast I want to see is James and Stu on the same podcast. I think that'd be fucking good.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
If I want to know about trains, mate, I can just Google it.
Everything I've ever wanted to know about trains, I already know. So
if I want to talk to a load of nerds, then I'll talk to Stuart.
Brilliant.
James would be a good one to have on, though.
Definitely. You might need a lot of subtitles for that podcast, to be fair.
He'll be absolutely
podcast late night version. Yeah. CJ podcast late night.
If I put this when I put this up on YouTube, I'll have to put like 18 plus. James is on there.
Yeah, definite.
To get the Bill Pairs permission.
Yeah, that's right. To be able to view it.
So it was from how do you see the progression going from when Sam nearly made you cry the other Thursday?
He's talking me. Is that me by any chance?
One of the proudest moments of my jiu-jitsu career was almost making Mark cry after that.
Mate, yeah, he was getting on top of me, it was.
Been bullying him constantly, Laurie.
For over a year.
Bring it up in this forum so that, the head coach gets to hear what his other instructors do.
I'm not hiding.
White belts on.
It's out of order, isn't it?
I'm not hiding.
He only made friends so that he could bully me.
Thanks, mate.
It's out of order.
His little face.
The only reason I got him into jiu-jitsu is just so I could bully him.
Yeah, just don't forget to take the tears when he does cry.
No. The problem is now, Mark's probably gone over the point of crying, and it's probably going to be me that cries when he eventually gets me. I'll just be sat on the sideline.
Well, this is it. As broken as I am, you will always be more broken than me. So there's going to be a point, right? You'll always be better than me. We'll always move like you're, way ahead of me, and I'm here. We're going to keep moving like that. So as good as I get, you're going to get better as well. But you're also going to get more broken. So it is going to start sort of leveling out.
I would actually argue that the trajectory of injuries, yours have gone like that.
Yeah.
Time, and Sam's going like that because it's taken him 10 years to get as injured as he is, and it's only taken you 1 year. So where will you be in 10 years? Yeah.
But
you're like me.
Yeah, I'm either going to be, just like a fucking one of those,
grappling dummies. You already are, mate.
Yeah,
you already are my grappling dummy. I get to practice all the moves on you, mate.
I'm going to be one of those dudes in a cast, like full body cast, with like the posts like holding his arms up like that. Or I've just got it out of the way now. I've got all my injuries out of the way. We'll be all right from now on. Do a bit of yoga every month, maybe.
I'll definitely go for the man in the cast, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, man in the cast.
This is what too late. I realised that because believe it or not, Sam, I started jiu-jitsu when I was 24 as well.
What?
No.
Well, back in 1923.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, and it
was you, Maida.
Laurie was there actually.
Hey, how we say?
Gracie Senior. We were all there.
Me.
He started before me.
Who did?
So, yeah, I was there when Laurie got his blue belt though. So
yeah, that's true.
When I started, you were a blue belt, Loz.
I know.
Well, but this is the other thing. So, like back then, most of the classes were blue belts teaching. So we would do basics a lot, because that's what we knew. So we'd go over lots and lots of things, the basic positions a lot more. And now, depending on how much people train or what classes they go to, you go to Luke's class and you'll be doing incredibly advanced techniques. Luke and Ian will teach some really advanced stuff. And I can see you go to that and you think, oh, this is way more fun than like doing a guard pass, or opening a guard. But people forget easily that those guys have got 10 years of doing the other stuff before they're doing that,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I remember Ian helped teach one of my basics classes, and I was asking him, I was like, what can we do? We can do like some really fun stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'll just do this knee cut to like this really funky back take that I've been practicing on my Thursday classes. And I was like, mate, you do realise that some people can't even forward roll. You're not going to be able to get them to do like advanced back take techniques. Like, just slow it down, take it easy.
Well, that's what I mean. It is easy to forget, but like, it's almost like, I can't remember who it was. Someone anyway said before, like, the more you know, the less you use. It might have even been like Dickie saying something like that before. I remember him coming to Tunbridge on a Sunday, like when he won the Europeans as a brown belt. He came and taught Sunday, like seminar class at Tunbridge, and it was like European brown belt champ Dickie Martin. You know, and nowadays you've got loads of people that are, you know, winning Europeans and worlds and stuff. You know, within the club setting. You know, now but Dickie would be saying, like, he'd be teaching, like Simon with his smash pass instruction, or Dick would be teaching the thing he does, and it's all simple, basic stuff, but he's so good at it, you know, from doing it so much. But same in the competition stuff. It's like that fight, Adam Wadzinski is using sweeps that we all know, or maybe three of us, and so.
I knew this was going to get abusive.
If you come to Sam's Thursday afternoon class, you'll get to know that sweep.
I tried teaching it to him before, mate. It just goes in one ear, goes out the other.
It's weird, isn't it? You know, when you've got poor instruction, it's hard to learn.
The basic like stuff is actually like the stuff that really, really works. Yeah. And you kind of get away from that somewhere, and then you get drawn back to it, and keep coming back to doing like the more simple stuff, and like, oh yeah, remember when I'm passing underhook, remember when I'm doing this underhook, and you know, you keep finding yourself coming back to it. Actually, I sometimes get lost in these techniques and then go, it's not actually doing me any favours whatsoever.
Yeah.
I guess when you start with the basics, as you progress on and you keep doing the basics, they're the things that you do the most. So you actually have more experience with those things than you do with anything else, right?
You're right.
You get a lot more proficient with those sort of things, so they're easy to fall back on.
Fall back, I guess.
I mean, it's not basics. It's just like the foundations, isn't it?
The concept, basic
foundations. You can't do anything complicated. It's you're always going to use the basics because they're all like your key movements and stuff. Like, you know, like when you're shrimping and stuff, it's a part of that. But it's just creating like things like frames and stuff, and you'd always resort to those kind of techniques, won't you?
Yeah, I remember getting taught frames like when I was a white belt, and I don't think people were using the term frames then, but like, you know, blocks or whatever they were called. But
you say block. You say block a lot.
Block a lot. But like now you kind of refine them into where to block, and like I remember always framing off the hip when someone used to try and pass my guard, and framing off the hip, and they're always like thinking like I've got to put my hands to his hips, but then you soon realise that as soon as you put your hand on someone's hip, like you're not only completely outstretched, but it makes it so easy for them to just either turn their hips over and
switch their hips.
It's just a waste of energy. So like you learn quickly, like the hips are not like, although this was where we were supposed to put our hands to stop them from getting close to us, actually protecting your head or framing off the shoulders is probably a lot more effective from people stopping blood.
Well, I think we've gone back, like, because since like Laurie introduced the new like class times with just the sort of the newer white belt class schedule and stuff, and like I've been helping out a little bit, if I, you know, and stuff, and like it's nice to start from that foundation with literally like, it's not a warm up. We're doing these movements because you'll need them in the techniques that you're going to learn, but a focus on just calming it down. And you've got to learn this first before you can learn that, because you need to know how to do this so that you don't go, it's not working, it's because you're not doing that, you know. And that's been interesting to watch, because I think it's made some of the guys coming through now, some of those good like 2-3 stripe white belts, like look really, really good, because they're learning in the right order and the right process, and not rushing things, not trying to do anything that's too fancy without learning the foundation movements. And they're all the same movements, aren't they? You know, the forward hip slide, you're going to use that for tons and tons of stuff forever. It's not just for a basic move. It's a movement that's going to be embedded in the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, well, sometimes you do those movements, but you don't even realise that you're doing them. And it's only when you think about it, or like, you know, that's actually just a forward hip slide, or that's just a hip slide, or that's just a, you know, a slight shift of the hip one way.
You can overcomplicate movements. I certainly do when I'm doing some techniques and stuff with Laurie, and I'm like,
yes, you do.
I'm
witnessed it.
Yeah, and Laurie's like, all you got to do is stand up. I'm like, all right, okay. Sometimes it has to be put that simply. Oh, right, so I just stand up. Yeah. That's what you do. Oh, right, okay.
So are you taking Mark's advice there? Just stand up.
Well, in certain scenarios, when I'm trying to do a particular sweep, maybe, and Laurie's saying, now stand up. I'm like, how do I stand up? And he's like, well, you know, you just stand up.
Get up.
You would please stand up.
Yeah.
I stand up.
Yeah, you think there has to be a specific technique for you to be able to stand up, but really...
That's the white belt brain coming out of you, Nick.
Yeah, otherwise I just lie on my back with my arms and legs in the air. I'm just told to do differently.
So you're dead beat.
Is that not what you do anyway?
It's my standard. What's wrong with that?
Sloth jitsu.
Sloth jitsu. Yeah. I just hold on as tight.
That's it.
Hold on as tight as possible, Mark. That's my advice.
Yeah, just move as slow as possible and just squeeze.
Squeeze hard.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. If they're not choking, then just move a little bit and then squeeze again.
Yeah. I think with the white belt thing there, it's like, I think a lot of people are trying not to look stupid as well. So those like, you know, you say like, in whatever scenario, you just stand up. They're thinking like, well, you know, if I just stand up, I might look like a twat. So like, how specifically you overthink things because you don't want to look, you know, like you don't know what you're doing, but you don't know what you're doing. So you've already overthought it by the time you got to that point.
Who judges you though? Because literally every one of us in the class has started where you are. Do you know what I mean? Everyone starts somewhere.
Well, it's like yesterday watching those fights, and we're sitting there watching. So yesterday we watched some of Sam's and Ian's white belt fights, and we're all saying like, "Don't."
How impressed they were.
Yeah, that
fingers.
Yeah, Sam was. It was good to watch. I mean, we only saw the victories, but you don't recognise that person, that jiu-jitsu in you anymore. Like Ian was saying, he said, I don't think I'd have done any of the things that I did in that video now from the same positions. If you put me there, I wouldn't have done any of the same techniques that I did there or in the same way at all.
Yeah.
It's interesting how, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And then when you do, you drop things out of your jiu-jitsu and you progress it and learn new things. And you have to go through using what you know, I guess, until you know different.
It's funny though, because like obviously back then watching my fight from yesterday, I was trying to play like an X-guard and I never used that anymore, but I used to love it. And I was like, maybe that was my kind of birimbolo back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like 10 years ago, maybe X-guard was kind of my flashy technique that I was trying to incorporate.
I guess when you first learned that,
winging it, Sam.
Winging it.
Yeah.
When De La Riva was considered an incredibly flashy move.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like everyone uses it. I'm pretty sure even Mark once try and do a De La Riva.
Well, shout out to James Cornford, who suggested that De La Riva is a position that he'd never need to use. One legendary Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, I remember that. And then Danny was like, how do you get from there to there then?
Yeah,
and he was like, yeah.
Stand up.
It works every time.
Every time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
How have you found it then, Mark? How have you found with the change of the classes now that we're doing more basics on the Monday?
Yeah, I think that works really well. And especially what Nick was saying about teaching the specific movements that you'll need for a certain technique before teaching the technique. So if you're going for a guard pass, use certain movement drills that are going to use individual movements that are used in that technique. And then you kind of like, it's easier to put it together in your head because then you're just applying what you've just learned and you just use those movements in a certain way, and that's the technique, and then that's it. You've done it then. You haven't got to overthink every little movement because you can break it down in your head into like individual movements yourself. You can already do it. You know, it's not.
And for you, Loz, like, how do you find it, like, keeping it? Because as a coach, I'm always worried about not making the class too boring for everyone. But like, so how do you keep it like fresh? How do you keep like the basics fresh?
Yeah, I suppose you've got to keep going over the same techniques to a certain degree, because you can't expect everyone just to
pick it up first time. No one ever does,
because not everybody else is going to be there that class, and they're not going to learn that technique. So you know, you never pick it up and just learn that technique off the bat, do you? So you kind of have to sort of like circulate your kind of techniques. I think maybe
that's awesome.
Just like different scenarios, I think, is the way to do it. It's like, you know, you're always going to do like a pass, aren't you?
Yeah.
Potentially, you know, you look at doing like a guard break, then a pass, and then you may be into position. So you're always it's going to be something slightly different each time, isn't it?
I think that's, you're probably hit the nail on the head there. Because it can be difficult, because you do want to go over the same stuff, but you don't want to keep just drilling in the same points over.
Well, the thing is, you shouldn't worry about the fact that it's repetitive. You know, you can't just learn stuff instantly, can you? So
I can't.
Yeah, you've got to expect the students to accept the fact that stuff is repeated. You're not doing katas every single week.
No.
No, and I think, you know.
Yeah, that's it. The things that are repetitive are practical. They're helping you do the thing that you're trying to learn. Yeah. So when things are repeated, I think a lot of people that are into it and are going to stick with it are thinking, "Oh, fucking awesome! I get to work this technique today." You know, I know this. Like,
yeah.
Well, I think sometimes it's almost like the instructor's mind, isn't it? It's like, well, you know, I want to show something different just to keep it more fresh. Really, I think like when you're at like a certain level, you kind of like, you want some of the more basic stuff and you keep going over it constantly.
Yeah. So what you're telling me
is, don't even know it.
I need to teach more half guard. I think that's what I've got.
Yeah, I don't think they've quite got that far.
I think that's what I'm doing. Just more half guard, more half guard.
Remember, it's like teaching the kids, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, that was a learning experience.
That's a learning curve, mate.
That is a steep learning curve. That is.
When you first come to that first class, I said, look, keep it basic. When I mean basic, it's like you literally have to show them where to put their hands and feet on every single move.
Is this white belt?
It's an easy move, right?
Both.
It's going to be mega difficult.
Danny was like that as well. Danny in some of the Saturdays, he was like, he always, he's like, what do you reckon? Should we do this sweep to that to this? And then you go, oh, okay. And then he does it. And he's like, they're not getting this, are they? You're like,
yeah.
I think we should go back to something. He's like, yeah.
Honestly, what I would consider like quite basic concepts, you have to really like halve that and then probably half it again to teach the kids, because it's.
I look over at Bill sometimes in the kids' class, and he's just looking over there like that. Like, and then you look at another kid, and they're sort of fiddling with something like this, and there's probably, you get maybe 70% watching at a time.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a different 30% are doing something completely different.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's carnage.
When I started planning the kids' classes, I was doing like 2 or 3 techniques, and you just can't keep their attention for that long. Like,
there's got to be one technique, and
one technique. Yeah, one technique.
We do dodgeball.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, that goes back to the adults' basics as well, because like I used to sort of like go through lots of different techniques, but I think it's always better to do just a couple of techniques and try and do them sort of quite well and show all the details.
Yeah.
Get people to sort of do it perfectly rather than just go through loads of techniques. I think it's probably more productive for them.
Yeah, I'd say. I'd say for sure.
If you go like out there as well, like if you're doing those basic things, there's a big difference between just rocking up and then saying, "Oh, oh, we did this last week or whatever. But if you haven't then been training and sparring and trying to implement the things that you're learning and finding out like why it's not working for you or what it is working for you or that kind of stuff, there's no point. I don't think there's any point in just like going, oh, I've banked how to do that technique. But if you're not putting it into like a resistance scenario, then you don't know what bits you're not doing right or wrong. So I think, you know, it can take months to get half decent at doing something. Like, you know, I practiced stuff for months and months in sparring, just trying to get to one position even to like try and do techniques from.
Until something clicks.
Well, yeah, you know, at least then you're feeling comfortable in a place.
Positionals are good for that though. Especially if you're doing a position that you've just learned a technique from, you know.
Sometimes
sparring really
but people don't like doing the technique they've just learned in positionals though.
No.
You know,
it's still sparring, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's awesome. But there's some people who just want to take your fucking head off.
Yeah.
Every time, and it's like, man, I'm not.
That's white belts for you, man.
Yeah.
But you after a few months though, you know, people don't like doing the technique they've just learned. But after a few months, you've learned, you've forgotten techniques by that point.
Yeah.
You've watched enough techniques that there'll be stuff that you won't even remember how you've been shown how to do it, even by that point.
I'm talking about like you learn a technique in the class, and then you got to do a positional in a position where that technique would be useful. And it's just gone immediately.
Yeah, gone immediately.
It's gone immediately. They just want to win, even if they're not doing jiu-jitsu. They'd rather win this positional than do jiu-jitsu and lose. You know, so that's a weird mentality.
That is weird.
I think like with techniques and stuff, like a student really should be able to just pick up a small part of a technique. Yeah. You know, it's because, you know, when you're sparring, it's very difficult to pull off like a whole technique or like, you know, like if you was just trying to bridge somebody off. I think it's learning just like a small detail.
Yeah. Like
if they can learn that small detail, that's something that they put into it. Like whole techniques are very difficult to pull off.
Because even the basic techniques still are like multifaceted. They've got lots of different like layers to it.
Even if you get one of those little layers within your game, effectively that's what you've learned out of like a whole class almost.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's so like, it rolls back to the fact that the more you show like details of one technique rather than loads of different techniques, you're probably going to get like
something from it,
receiving a little bit more information out from that one like class.
Because a lot of the techniques, they kind of intermingle and they float. They kind of work together, work with each other as positions as well as techniques. So if they can take something from a technique, they may be able to implement that concept into another technique that they do use. I've been trying to keep like classes like 6 weeks and doing the same thing like over about 6 weeks. If I change it up here and there, like add a little bit more, maybe take something away or whatever, because in my brain I always think I can't just learn the technique from one class. I need to be able to practice it, and the more I get them doing it, the more it's in their head, and then the more they might be able to learn from it. Only people tell.
100% though. You do it, you practice it the technique wise, and then in between you go and try and use that in sparring, and then you can come back and be like, oh Sam, I was trying to do this week, I got in that position, but I must be doing something wrong because I couldn't do it and this kept happening. And you go, okay, well some people, I don't know, mate, go and ask Laurie.
I just do it, mate.
Yeah, just do it better, Nick. Oh, okay.
But the thing is also what you've got to remember is each student's got their own like agenda when they're sparring.
Yeah.
So, you know, as much as you show like a technique in a class, it's not really what they're trying to achieve.
Right, yeah.
So
like, I think that day
they need to pick up like a detail from some things that they can put it into their game.
Yeah, that's
even if it's just like a hand position on a grip or something. You know, I think what you're trying to show lots of different tools for the student to pick up and take away to add to their toolkit, if you see what I mean.
I love that analogy. You were using that when we were talking the other week of like there being a certain take all the techniques and all the positions, right? There's thousands, but you're going to use this. There's going to be the same amount of tools. You know, if you say like an underhook, an overhook, this position, that position. So these things that you know, and it took me ages to realise that you can. That from that technique that Laurie's shown, I'll take that element and that will work for me in this other technique. But actually, the toolbox has got the same stuff in. It's like what you take and what you put together for the different things you're doing.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got to a position where you understand what the toolbox is.
Yeah.
The problem is like lower levels, is like the students don't even know what a toolbox is.
Yeah.
You're trying to show them.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Does that make sense? It's almost like you have to say, well, this is a toolbox and it contains tools.
That's
yeah, Mark.
Yeah, Mark. Right. Where's your toolbox?
He hasn't got one yet. He hasn't built it.
And he got his pants on.
Knees out, boy. I'm going to get another beer now, so
let alone a toolbox.
So regarding like that, then when we're talking about implementing, you know, elements from techniques from classes and things like that, what do you think, Laurie, is the right way or the right mixture for white belts? You know, starting out, or you know, say like Mark, who's a year in, like he's gone on a big learning curve upwards, where he's got, you know, he's obviously got talent and he's done really well, and then like he said the other week, I feel like he feels like he's plateaued a bit, you know. And I said, well, you can't just keep going like as fast as you were progression wise. You know, there's going to be bits where you go flatter, and then you know, and stuff like that. So, is there something how they should do it in terms of sparring? Should you start sparring straight away? Should you do positional first and then normal sparring? Is there do you think there's like a formula for like a starting out, how to utilize your training?
Well, when you start out completely.
Well, you know, or when you get into like
to a certain level. I think you got to look at, you know, a lot of people say, well, I have trouble doing this and I have trouble doing that. You know, you're always going to have trouble doing X amount of techniques. But I think sometimes you want to look at what you can do sometimes. Sometimes that might be the solution to some of your other problems. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you can add to a certain area, that might strengthen that certain area up. Then in turn, it can also help in another area. Does that make sense? Sometimes.
Did you hear his beer? He cracked one open.
Boys.
Listening to the wisdom, Mark. He's gone to get a beer.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, he's sharing all his beer.
I was going to piss myself.
Sorry, Mark. Don't worry. I'll just waste my breath on the
watch
nuggets.
Watch this one back.
You'll have to watch it back, Mark, mate, and you still won't go.
Yeah, I'll take the iPad to the toilet with me next time. Be all right. Just put me on mute. I'll just zoom in on my face, so definitely don't. You'll be all right.
Yourturd.com.
Did you start sparring as soon as you started? Did you just get involved in sparring and positional and like normal sparring straight away and just try and do what you could, or did you hold fire until you felt like you know, I'll try doing close guard, I'll try doing this, or
what? Like, did I try and stay away from sparring, thinking like, oh no, I'll wait a bit, like, I can't.
Yeah, wait to learn some more stuff.
No. I just turned up and I had the mentality of just do what you're told, basically. So turn up, learn the techniques. All right, we're doing positionals now. Okay, we're doing positionals now. Oh, a bit of full sparring. Okay, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. There were points where you just sort of like pour at people when you first start, and you're like, oh well, you know. It was really weird actually, because the first lesson I ever did was one of your Thursday classes, Sam. And yeah, I think you were doing like X guard and shit. So no idea of what I was doing. Like,
oh, that must have been a Thursday. I was going to say, not even on a basic.
You turned up.
No, it's a Thursday daytime class.
Thursday day, okay.
Yeah. And I come along with the salmon, OG salmon, and yeah, we were just in the corner doing our own thing, learning how to shrimp and stuff because there's no hope. And the first person I ever had to spar with was Dan Biddle. And I'm assuming he just got his purple belt at the time because it was around Christmas.
How many wrist did you with?
Oh, at least 20. At least. It was insane. But like I never come into it cocky or anything, but sometimes you might think like, oh, I've got a bit of an idea of what I'm supposed to be doing, maybe.
The Savage Salmon. Freshly shaven.
Smooth. But yeah, fucking you think like, oh, okay, right. I don't know anything about jiu-jitsu. I don't do jiu-jitsu, but I've watched a lot of MMA. I kind of to some degree understand what I'm supposed to be doing here, but nothing specific. And then when you're right there in front of the other dude, and he's like, go on then. It just hit me all at once, like, fuck, I don't know anything. Like, I'm a kid. Like, anyone out there could just rape me, because I don't know how to defend myself here. Like, it just hit me so clearly. And I was like, fuck. Dude, I remember being like, Dan obviously just fucking swept me immediately, knee on belly, and he's obviously being nice at this point as well. He's not even trying. And I'm thinking, right, I'll rest for a bit. With fucking Dan Biddle on me, and he's like, just fucking put some shit into it. He was like, you can't rest there, mate. You can't rest there. And I was like, well, I don't know. What else can I do? I'm trying to get up. You're not letting me.
I've never had anyone...
Let me up.
Yeah. I've never had anyone with a knee in my chest. What am I supposed to do here?
Oh, he's moving his knee around.
It was horrible. And then the second person I had to roll with was you.
Good.
A little easier, that one. That was bad.
Very, very.
Are you talking about Nick?
No, I'm not sure you're pointing to, Mark.
Yeah, he must be pointing to Nick.
He just goes like that.
Sammy Brown balls over there. Yeah, fucking, that was an interesting day. I definitely remember that day specifically.
Yeah, I don't think you ever forget your first class.
No, definitely not, man. I was so excited about it before, so nervous. And then when it was done, like, it was so fun doing it. And then afterwards, we went straight to the pub and we had a beer. And there was a little moment where we were like, fuck yeah, we just did it. We're doing it now. We're doing it. Yeah, 100%.
Did it take you a while? Did you want to do it and then you hadn't come for a class and you were like, yeah, I'm going to come down? Or did you just go, right, I'm going to go and try, and then you just went? Or was there a build-up beforehand? Like,
oh, man, fucking...
A year, wasn't it? Like a year build-up.
Easily a year. A couple of years, maybe. I kept saying, oh, yeah, I'll do that, I'll do this. Because I went for PT sessions with you, Sam.
Yeah.
And I knew that you did jiu-jitsu anyway through gym.
Yeah.
So, you bigging it up. And me obviously watching MMA and stuff, knowing that jiu-jitsu is practical and awesome and all this stuff. It was just something that I never realistically went out there and wanted to do. It was intimidating, to be honest.
It is intimidating.
And then when you actually get in there and you start doing it, it's like, oh, what was I worried about, you know? Yeah. Like, the worst that's going to happen in jiu-jitsu is you're going to get squashed, basically. Like, don't worry about it.
It's not
It'll be all right.
It really.
Yeah. It's not very comfortable, and it does hurt. But there's something.
It's hard work, man. It's hard to continually do it, right? Like, it's not that hard to go along and figure out if it's for you or not. It's not that difficult to go along to a class. Most of them are free to begin with, anyway. Yeah. So I think if you are up for it, then give it a go.
I'll never.
I think people don't realise how hard it is.
Yeah, I didn't.
People they watch a lot of MMA and they think,
but you're laying down, aren't you?
That's why they refer to it as like hugging. You know, like, dude, it don't feel like a fucking hug.
Yeah,
mate. Even when there's no strikes and people are being nice, it doesn't feel fucking hug. Do you know what I mean? When people are actually trying to kill you, it's terrifying.
Hey, my first when I came back to training after some time off, and the first hiatus, the first roll back was with Ben Williams. And
powerlifter Ben Williams.
Powerlifter Ben Williams, like, he's a big dude, but not knowing him before, I was like, geez, like, great, he's big, but you don't know. I don't know that the first thing he did, he took a grip on my lapel and just threw me like across. I was like, oh, just slid across the mat, and I was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? And
then you're like 130 kilos. That is unbelievable. That is. He's so strong. I knew he was strong, but I didn't know he was that strong.
But I was just like, oh my God. oh, back again, you know, sort of thing. And then after the first lesson, I was like, right, no, that's it. Yeah, back. Like, love training. It was just life and everything gets in the way. Life, work, where you live, all that stuff. And then you go, okay, no, I remember why I enjoyed it so much before. But it was a wake up straight away. Ben Williams, first row, I was like, I think he got in north-south on me. I was like, how do you get these people off again? Like this is
were you a blue belt
possible.
when you came back as well, Nick?
No, he's a white belt.
You were still a white belt.
Yeah, white.
How long did you have off?
4 years.
40 years.
40 years.
40 years.
40 years he had off.
Well, I kept seeing Laurie in like Tesco's and Curry's and whatever. And the last time I saw him, I think we were in Curry's and I was with my family. And Laurie was like, "You should come back. You should come back training." And my missus was like, "Yeah, you should. Like, get out and do." And I was like, "All right,
go away for a bit.
Get out of the house.
Get out of my life."
I was like, "Fine, I will then." And then I did. Like next week, I went training, and I dug out, you know, what I had, and off I went, and that was that. But I'm so pleased that I did. I mean, I think like everyone, whether it's injury or work or family or kids or whatever it is, at some point there'll be one of those time periods where, for whatever reason, you can or cannot choose to stop training. And at that point in my life, that everything else got in the way, and so I stopped. I wish I hadn't. I mean, but you can't do anything about it now. But so hopefully now, with the sort of community that there is and things, when people get to that point, hopefully they won't stop. You know, there's still enough for people to come and do with the different classes and things. It's just when there was like, when you miss 1 week and there's only one or two classes or something, and you miss 1 week, and then it's too easy to then go, oh, you know, because it comes around less often. And the more regularly, I train way more now than I ever trained before, but I have not, like, everything's really nicely, you know, mapped out. And if I can get extra sessions, I will. And, you know, but being more careful with, you know, the training and your body and stuff. I have to be now. I'm so brittle.
I know.
But that's why the routine helps, doesn't it? Of those regular classes.
Definitely.
And that's probably why people struggle to train at home. Even people that want to train and stuff, it's hard to like motivate yourself and to know what sort of direction to give yourself when you're at home. Yeah. Whereas when you're in a class and there's a guy saying, "Right, do this," you know, there's times that you do shit when you don't really want to be doing it. You're like, "Oh, this is hard. This sucks. Or this is fucking effort." But you got to do it. And if you're in a class and there's someone telling you to do it, you do it, right? Whereas when you're at home and there's fucking beer in the fridge right there, it's a bit easy to go, this is hard work, fuck this.
Well, have you and Becky been doing much training?
Yeah, not as much as we should be, though. That's the thing. Like I say, it's hard to motivate
Becky's still working, isn't she?
Yeah, she is still working. But in the evening and stuff, we'll do whatever we want. We'll have a laugh with it. But there's no structure to it, so it's hard to retain anything that we're doing.
So would you do like a virtual class if it was like
100%, man. I think that'd be awesome. Definitely. It'd be hard to organise that, I'd imagine, but I would definitely be up for that.
Pretty easy to organise, really, don't you think, Sam?
Yeah, it's just basically you could just do a Facebook Live.
People having like partners.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool, and if you can do it with, you know, a partner, then even better. But if you can, because you can, like I've been trying, right? You can just put like a couple of pillows or cushions, so you can do like, you know, from the knee or belly side to side and stuff. There are things like just with what's around, you can do bits like and just get something going a bit.
Yeah, I've got a stand-up punch bag. I lay that down on the floor, and that's really good for doing those kind of drills and stuff. Definitely good for knee on belly drills and that. So yeah, I imagine you could use a load of different things to make yourself a little dummy. I know Matt Witt has been using like his pillow and a gi and stuff. He's been wrapping
there was a tutorial, wasn't there, on social media?
Yeah, loads of people putting up ones. Some of them are creative, man. Some of them are really fucking interesting.
Any of you follow Jordan Jitsu, who puts out a video of him with a chair basically every day.
Oh, I think you've seen these.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that. I see one dude who was rolling with a chair. Like you see people doing like lasso stuff or like Delahiva sort of drills on a chair. And I see one dude that was doing like a berimbolo, and then the chair got in top side control. Like escape from the chair and shit. He's even losing.
Like something else.
It's brilliant. It's so good.
Yeah, it is great. But yeah, it's nice to see that people are actually making an effort at home and still doing stuff. But it is going to be a thing that breaks a lot of people. Like you were saying, it is easy once you've had a bit of time off to go, this is all right, you know?
Yeah.
I think once
no injuries, I don't have to try too hard.
I've been through it though. I've been through it. When you go through like an injury that gets you out for months, and then you have to you physically you feel okay, and you forget about all the little niggly injuries that you've got.
Quite scary coming back.
Yeah, and you go, I don't know.
You're like, fuck! Like, what if it hurts even more than it did before?
Well, what
am I going to be any good at it anymore? I've had so much time off. Like, am I gonna? It took me so long to get to that level. Am I going to be at that level when I go back? And no, you're obviously not. But it doesn't take you long to get back into the swing of things. It's actually getting yourself through the door, isn't it, as well? But once you're there,
people get worried
how good everything is.
Yeah, coming back, like when I came back, right, you remember like people that were lower, like started after me, like Ches and people like that.
He was going to say lower grade then, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I don't want to be too mean. Yeah,
it's going to be a bit hard.
But like we were like on a level at that point. And then you come back and Ches is, just got his brown belt, and you're like, it can be a little bit like, oh man, like if I'd stuck at it and this and that. So you can let that get in the way. And then and Dan as well had only just started sort of around that time as well. And then I come back and he'd just got his blue belt, and it would have been very easy to go, no, I don't want to do it because the people I know they're now better than me.
Yeah.
And
there you go, though, isn't it?
But that's exactly what it is. But once if you actually enjoy something, I think it soon goes away. That thing, it's like Dan was like, "Oh, are you sandbagging me?" I was like, "No, genuinely, I am unfit and I haven't trained, honestly." He's like, "Oh, okay," and then he starts like fucking me up, and I'm like, "Oh, I love this. This is great." It would be easy. That would be an easy excuse to go, "Oh, well, I didn't like that because I used to beat him up. Now he's beating me."
So that's it. It depends on the mentality, because I think that you'd feel like that initially, like, "Oh, this is fucking shit. I'm bad now, and they're better than me, and fuck this." Yeah. But then you think, "Well, I want to be that good then," because that's what made me want to come back. Was being like, fucking hell, like if you can do that to anyone that just comes through the door, like I want to be able to do that. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And most people, I assume, are like me, that think, I got a bit of an idea what I'm doing, but and then you actually go in there and you don't know anything. You don't know fucking shit. So
you don't even know how to start.
You wandered into an MMA class. First person you see is John Weir kicking a heavy bag.
that was my first experience in an MMA class. That was.
Yeah, I'm just going along to an amateur MMA class. Who's that?
Well, we could hear it. We had to get changed on a different floor.
Like thunder in the background.
Yeah, and it was like the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Jurassic Park.
Walking along,
we could just hear the thumps, and we were like, me and my brother looked at each other like, oh god, what have we got ourselves into?
You ran your hand through your thick hair,
through my luscious locks of hair, and I was like, we could do this.
It wasn't eating into MMA. Didn't you get him into jiu-jitsu, Sam?
Yeah, because he was doing well. We used to work together when I started, and I started showing him what little I knew, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm quite interested in doing MMA." And one of the guys at our club started an MMA in our town, and I was like, "Well, why don't you go to that then? And I'll come with you." And that's when we went to MMA, and then he did that for a few months before I convinced him to come to purely jiu-jitsu. Or I think maybe the class fizzled out. I think the class may have fizzled out, actually, the MMA place.
Yeah.
Gym closed
it must
down.
Be so hard to know how to organise an MMA class. Do you know what I mean? You have to focus on so many different aspects of self-defense. Like with jiu-jitsu, you're specialising in one aspect of it. And even then, there's like a million different things. Like, how the fuck do you teach people this?
For an MMA, then so MMA is either you can call it an MMA fitness class, as in you're doing some different drills and stuff for fitness, or you're training for MMA, which is not in a gi. So you need the combination of striking, grappling, wrestling, fair enough. Like, if that's your profession or whatever. But otherwise, to me, like, you might as well. I'd much rather. I wouldn't want to be a jack of all trades, knowing a little bit of something and something.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Unless you're specifically wanting to fight people, like it's a weird one, isn't it? Like doing MMA for fitness is odd.
That's why it's hard rolling with you, Mark, because I get struck more than when I used to do boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I strike myself sometimes. Honestly, I come home and I'm like, how the fuck did that happen? And I realise it's probably from me. Probably fucking need myself in the mouth more times than I could mention, man.
Is your own belt choking you out?
It's ridiculous. Yeah, imagine that. Just like
tapping himself with wrist locks for people.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I've nearly wrist locked myself about 1,000 times. I don't even know how.
But the good thing is, though, that you're always learning. This is what I like. It's just the thing I love about jiu-jitsu. It's always learning. You get better all the time. You're never going to know everything, and that's why it comes out when you see like Laurie and Luke, Danny, and all those guys, Ian, like showing each other techniques, and talking about him, he's here, but you're showing each other stuff and learning off each other. You're never too big to learn stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what attracts me to
definitely, man. When you see like high level people talking and like they're at jiu-jitsu, they're like at an open mat maybe, and they're just sitting in a little corner and they're like working on these techniques and talking about shit. You're like, oh fucking hell, man, I want to be like that. That's cool.
But then you see people like and sort of stroll over like I think
everyone's watching that shit, man, if they start rolling on that. But that's the ideal, right? Yeah, that's why you start jiu-jitsu though, isn't it? To be good at it. That's the ultimate goal. You want to do it because you want to be good at it initially, right? So people don't like I think like what you were saying earlier, Laws, about like it's harder than what most people think. I think it's just as hard as people think, but they assume that it's not going to be for as long. Do you know what I mean? They think like, oh, if I've been doing this for about a year, I'll be good. And it's like, no, man, after a year, you're shit. You're still not good, man. But you're good relative to how you were when you started.
Oh, you're a million.
It's about that, right?
Than you were.
Yeah.
Not very good.
I always have a little mental game with myself, and I had it way before I started jiu-jitsu, and that's to think about whether I could beat myself up a year before. So I always aim to be able to beat myself up last year.
Yourself.
Yeah.
And now, since like before, it was like, I think so. Yeah, I probably could. And then jiu-jitsu, it's like, dude, I would shit all over like me a year ago. Me in 2018, 19 would die now.
Well, I
didn't even know that much relative to how much there is to learn in jiu-jitsu. You don't need that much. You need to learn enough.
I had this conversation with my friend, and he used to compete at karate at like a high level. And
when he was 15, as well.
No, well, he was in his early 20s.
14.
He was like 15, but into his early 20s. But he used to compete for Great Britain, and he was like really good at karate. But we had this discussion. I can't remember where we were, but he was like, "Do you think because I look back?" He was saying to me how he looks back now, and he was like, "There's no way I'd be able to compete with myself from when I was."
You told me this 20s. Before, yeah.
And I was like, he was like, "Do you ever feel like that? Like you've now you're not in your 20s, you'd be able to compete with yourself?" And I'm like, mate, there is no question I would destroy me when I was in my early 20s, without a doubt in my mind.
I know that because I watched your fights from your early 20s yesterday.
I hope so.
You were saying I was better then than I am now.
Better hair.
Oh, mate, I would have loved to have rolled with white belt Sam. I really fucking would.
Stood a chance, mate.
Yeah, I know, but how heavy were you then?
How heavy?
Heavier than you are now.
I think, I was, when I first started. And then I got down to like 79, and I'm probably about 85 now. I
weigh 77 though. I've only put on, 2 kilos.
What, since the lockdown?
Yeah, I've been eating ice cream every day, drinking beer.
Yeah, drinking beer and eating ice cream. That was fun, mate. I've seen you. You've been sending me photos.
Yeah, 2 fucking kilos. That's not that bad. Relative to the shit I'm putting.
Relative to how tall you are, mate. That's a lot of weight. That is.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? If I was 6 foot, I'd be like that fucking thin, wouldn't I? It'd be insane. Like Slender Man coming at you.
So I think now must be time for the quiz.
100%. Let's go on.
Okay. Is this MMA age quiz?
Yeah. So
who's going to explain the rules?
So the rules are, it's a bit like high. Well, it is.
Do we have a jingle?
But you're all working individually. So on your own screens, I'm going to start off with a fighter and say his age, and then the next fighter, I'll give you his name, and then you've got to go like it's higher or lower than that.
It's like The Price is Right.
Like The Price is Right, exactly.
Okay,
so
here we go.
Call that the fighter's right.
Fighter's Right.
Fighter's Right. So then, if you are wrong, you are eliminated, and then we will be left with only one winner. But there are only certain.
Will it?
But if two people or even all of you make it to the final fighter, then we'll have a tie break, and who guesses the exact age will be the winner. And I haven't thought past that if you all get the age correct.
So nobody like looking down, checking their phones or anything, right?
No, you'll probably, So first fighter is Conor McGregor for a bonus point. How old is he? Does anyone know?
24.
30.
No,
32.
No, he's not. He's 30.
32.
30.
He's 31. Bonus point for Laurie. So next, higher or lower, John Jones.
Higher or lower?
Is John Jones older or younger than 31?
Lower. Higher.
John Jones is 32.
Oh!
Yeah, I went higher. I'm keeping that.
Paul, you're shit and you're out already, as I knew you would be.
Fuck out of here with your white belt trivia.
Okay, so next fighter. So John Jones is 32. Is Max Holloway older or younger?
Yeah, I know this. I know this one. Why can we start?
He's younger. He's 28.
Yeah.
So although he looks about 48.
Yeah, insane.
So Max Holloway is 28. Paige Van Zandt is older or younger?
That's hard. I'm going to go higher.
Paige Van Zandt is 26. So already, Laurie Dodson has won the quiz.
Look at that. That's how old, man.
To be fair, I thought you'd have done better, Mark.
I thought you were going to pick proper fucking, like, I don't know, different fighters. Fucking, yeah.
What?
Odd choices. Not proper fighters, but just odd choices.
It's supposed to be a quiz. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to be Mark no.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't have to pay to enter it, so.
Well, I've got two more, so let's see how far Laurie Dodson can go. So, Paige Van Zandt is 26. Is Sage Northcutt younger or older?
Oh, younger.
He is. He's 24. So then, is Mackenzie Dern older or younger than 24?
Oh, I know this.
Older.
She is. You've completed it. She's 27.
Older hero.
Mate,
Sage Northcutt, 24.
Wow. Black belt of quizzes as well as a black belt.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I thought there's a couple in there, John Jones and Max Holloway. The two I thought they could go either way because they do look younger or older than they actually are.
Yeah, like it.
So there you go. I'll have another quiz for you on a different topic.
Two suggestions for the quiz. One, I would like a prize.
Okay.
That should definitely be added.
You're just after a stripe and you're not getting one.
Well, yeah, no, one day. Two, a jingle wouldn't go amiss, to be honest.
Well, you know, I've got an editing program, mate. I can stick a jingle in there.
Yeah. We'll do that then. All right, work on that. I'm just bitter I didn't win, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, when we go back to reality and we're able to go out on location recording podcasts again, we're going to video record them as well, so that we can make them into a video and stuff. So we're going to be able to use music and things. And this is a very new format for us.
Yeah.
How's this working? Is this just going up as audio?
No, it's going up as a film.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're going to put them on Sam's YouTube channel, and then put the links on the CGA podcast website as well. But they'll be embedded from YouTube, so you can listen to all the previous audio podcasts on the website, cjpodcast.co.uk.
I think I can just take the audio file as well. I think I can just take the audio file and put that onto Podbean, where the rest of our podcasts are.
Oh, right.
Website. So I could probably do that as well. It'd probably be worth doing both.
Okay.
But
we're gonna do that. But it's just fun. It's really cool to get different people on and chat from different perspectives, and even the Otter has got things to give, content.
Who knew?
Oh yeah, don't worry about me. I think we should all definitely think of a different game though. That's brilliant.
Well, maybe that can be your job. You can be like the Jamie of the podcast, and you can just think of games and stuff like that.
The fucking technologically retarded Jamie.
You're not allowed on anymore though.
You're like our work experience. Like we could have a little, we could have a phone in.
Well, one time the Becky decides to wander in, you're slagging me off.
White belt. What do you mean?
They respect me.
Point, that would have been the same.
Yeah, perhaps we should have a phone in, Sam.
Yeah,
definitely do a phone in
with like their jiu-jitsu problems.
Yeah,
should we give Sam's number out now so that they know?
No, they could phone in for White Belt Corner, where ask the White Belt.
Yes.
So we could. So anyone
ask the White Belt.
I'm going to do it on Instagram today.
All it's going to take is for
ask
who?
the White Belt a question.
Yeah. Then you give the answers, Mark.
Yeah, that'd be all right. All we got to do is wait for Jackson, Matt, Warren to get their blue belts, and I'm nearly king of the white belts. So
no,
not king of the white belts that's a very prestigious title. I
just got to wait for about 10 other people to fuck off, and then I'll be there.
Even then, mate, there'll be someone new that comes in that'll be better, so don't worry about it.
There'll be some four-stripe that gave up training a while back who just rocks back up again, like when Darren Crouch just...
Oh, mate, you're not joking. Curtis smashed the fuck out of me.
Yeah, Curtis.
Oh, mate, he come back. I was thinking, all right, I've never seen him before. I'll, not go easy, but I'm not going to try and take his head off. He fucking destroyed me. I think I was fucked up for about 2 weeks. Honestly, man, I couldn't fucking get drunk for about 2 weeks afterwards.
Curtis came back hench as well.
Yeah.
Like stronger.
Yeah, I don't know him before.
Like, he was Curtis 2.0 when he came back.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
2.0, I love it. That's a good name. It's almost as good as mine, the Wolverine.
Yeah, I'm not having that though. That's not.
The Wolverine is a good one.
The Wolverine. Well, yeah. So there's some. If anyone wants to get in touch with ideas for quizzes or anything, then we can put them together from the ideas, or we could do one on the club face maybe.
Yeah.
That'd be
cool. Suggestions? I'm all for it. I will take it.
Can we keep a leaderboard as well of who's winning each game, like Top Gear or some shit? You got like a thing. So Loz is now number one. Is that the first time you've done that game?
Yeah.
There you go. So Loz is number one, then me, and then obviously Sam is at the bottom.
Well, Loz has won 2-0 to Loz at the moment, because Loz also he got all the nicknames correct, and Sam only got one correct.
Well, maybe you can do it as like a point system for winning.
Like UV Loz, and it's just 1 point each time basically. And if there's a guest on, we'll see who wins. But basically, I'm going to record who wins out of you and Laurie.
All right, done.
At the moment, you have
it down, Loz.
It needs to be competitive, though, doesn't it?
To me, mate.
But Sam doesn't know anything about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've made it this far, mate. To be honest.
Basic half guard.
How many guards are there, Sam?
Sorry?
How many guards are there?
One.
Half of one.
Half of one, actually.
Yeah.
There's only half of a guard.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to come on as well?
Dominate that leg.
Wants to come on, or who thinks anyone would be good coming on, let us know, because we're going to do loads more of these, because we've got plenty of time. We're all hanging around and we're all looking for stuff to do. So
definitely, there's 3 more weeks of this lockdown, so there's plenty of time for more.
Fucking hell.
I'm all right.
To this.
I'm all right. I've got, Mark, you're all trapped up in that flat of yours.
You want to say that again?
I'm all right, but you're all trapped up in the flat, aren't you?
Yeah, don't worry about this.
Yeah, Mark, cool.
Yeah, that was not me. Just, I've got friends. Look at that. That's weird. That's weird.
Oh, where did that one pop up from?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, before Mark gets too drunk, I think it's about time we wrap this up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I thought we was going to have a game of Monopoly, bit of Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons, mate, over this. We should definitely do that.
Look how excited
put that on.
D&D.
Yeah, mate. Loz is in.
Online.
Nick's not a fan.
Locked down at the club.
Risk.
Bit of risk at the club. Shall we all come down?
There's a new student over in the corner. What do you do? Do you play?
Yeah, mate.
Shake his hand.
No. Cut his head off. Cut his head off.
Did you hear on that? If anyone listens to the, not to plug other podcasts, the Matt Burn podcast with Hinger and Keenis, and they've been promoting a guy that does a jiu-jitsu card game where you can play you play your
like
cards.
Top trumps.
Yeah, but no, like guards, and then the other guy plays this, and you play escapes.
Oh, wow.
Cards, and then you can
brilliant.
You can get different decks for different positions and stuff, and you can use these
get
cards
different decks for different belts as well. So like the purple belts are like got more techniques.
Each person that's in our club.
Yeah, top trumps.
The top trump.
That's brilliant.
Top trumps.
We'd have to have another Kamute for the white belts to get into the card game.
Yeah, like a special card, like a special only white belt card.
I think that there should be a definite a Kamute when everyone comes back. That should be like a, re-welcome.
That wasn't the plan, Loz, wasn't it? That was the plan. We were going to have a once every 3 or 4 months, was it?
Yeah.
Mate, that should definitely happen. 100%.
I think we should do maybe like some more rather than the competition class, but like a competition class that's a stand-up, just like to practice stand-up for competition as well.
Judo,
like
a judo class. Is that what you're talking about?
No, not just judo, but like some more sort of wrestling and.
There are, Nick. It's on Sundays. You just haven't been.
You've never turned up, mate, so you wouldn't know.
Sunday. The day of rest.
He hibernates on Sundays.
I'm like that. I'm just trying to. Oh God, my body recovering.
Trying to get out that day, yeah.
My hands are like that by Sunday.
What, from all the laying on them like this?
Yeah. Wrist on myself online.
Right. Okay, guys. That was awesome. So we'll do some more of these. We'll get some more guests on, but I'll put some stuff on the CJ podcast Instagram and see who wants to join in, so we don't have to see Mark's face anymore.
That's going to get done for advertising, isn't it? There you go. Ruin your video for you.
Luckily, the light shining off of it is probably
the light reflecting off your head, Mark. Is,
yeah, I know, right?
Couldn't see
I'm
that.
like Cyclops from X-Men.
It's all right, mate. I don't think it's a paid endorsement, so I think you can have whatever you want on there.
That's all right. I'm sponsored. It's fine.
You should be by Foster's, mate, shouldn't you?
I've gone to Bud now.
Have you?
I've switched it up. Yeah, slightly cooler. Slightly cooler.
Right.
Well, definitely have Mark back for White Belt Corner, if not for the quiz at least. So Mark can make some more appearances for sure.
Definitely. I'm like Susie Dent on Countdown.
Yeah.
Just constantly there.
You should up your outfit game, I think.
Put some trousers on next time, please, mate.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Get rest next time.
Anyway.
Okay. Till them next time. Catch you. See you guys.
Whoos.
Whoosh.